wind, surf, and beach. It's a perfect place to build some castles by the sea. Hey everyone, Kylie at Games Unlimited here in Pittsburgh, and today I'm going to talk to you about castles by the sea. This is one of the cutest games I've seen in a long time. You play these wee folk building their civilization, building their castles on a beach, and hoping that things don't get destroyed by some of the big people and their various accoutrements that happen to love hanging out at the beach. So it's almost a game of like understanding the ebb and flow of the things you create, because you're going to take these awesome building blocks and you're going to build parts of your castle. There's different cards that are going to show you exactly how you can score for the various things that you can do. So you're trying to build these patterns, and at the end of each round, at the end of each of your turns, you're going to get points based on which patterns you have currently built. But also at the end of each turn, some of these hazards are going to move. There are things like the Terror, this giant dog that might come along and wreck things. There's the Giant, which is a big toddler that's going to toddle along and maybe steal some of your people away. So you have to be mindful of that, but also recognize that that's something that's going to happen in the game, and hopefully it happens to your opponents more than it happens to you. So what you're going to do on your turn is you're going to get three of these nice chunky wooden blocks. And you're going to be able to place them on the playing area. The only rule is your first block can go anywhere. After that, every block you place has to be touching another block that you have placed this turn. So you have 3 blocks. You're going to put them out there. If you put them on top of one of these seaweed tokens, you get to grab that. That's worth 2 points at the end of the game. But there are reasons you might want to go in other spots on the board. So you place them on the board, and then if you've made a certain pattern, and there are multiple variations of patterns that you can do in this game, so every game is going to be a little bit different. It has some recommended setups in the rule book, though. But if you've done things, so for example, this princess that I showed you earlier needs to be on top of a pillar with nothing, these little white things show that you want nothing directly underneath her adjacent. So if you've made a pillar like so, you can put your princess on top, and that princess is worth 2 points every round that she's out there on the board somewhere. You can make doors. The doors require you having a block on either side of it. Now the trick is you can only place your pieces if they are touching a block that you placed this turn. So your people have to go on top of a block that you placed this turn, and the other parts of your structures have to go on blocks that you've placed this turn. So that makes it difficult, because while you may need to use some previously placed blocks, you have to actually put something new down in order to be able to put your pieces out there. So you do that, you grab your points, this is great. Then you're going to move one of the hazards. There are 3 hazards in each game, 6 different hazards in the box, so you have some variability there. And you're going to move one of them, and then you're going to reveal the other 2. So you've got these decks of cards. Here's the Giant right here, and it shows you this is what the Giant's going to do. When the Giant triggers, it's going to snatch up all the people in a row, in a straight line coming out from the Giant. So you flip over the top card. Oh, it's got 2 hazards. 2 hazards are okay. But when you get that third one, oh, now we have at least 5. Once you have at least 3, the bad guy triggers, the hazard triggers, and hopefully takes some of the opposing player's pieces and not your own. So there's a little bit of a, I wouldn't quite call it a take that. It's more of a just positioning, strategic positioning of those hazards so that they don't worry your structures and people as much as it worries other people's. Game plays over a certain number of rounds based on the number of players, tends to play in about an hour or less. Super cute, but actually quite thinky from a spatial reasoning perspective. You're going to start this game and you're going to go, wait, since I have to place pieces and my people and my structures next to something I placed this turn, I don't have a lot of options here. So you might get a couple of points on your first turn. Maybe on your second turn, you'll get a few more points than that. Maybe by your 4th or 5th turn, you're actually raking in the dough, but that's, of course, assuming the stuff you've put out there hasn't been destroyed by your hazards. You've also got some special scoring cards that you're going to be dealt at the beginning of the game, so those are other ways to give you some points. But all in all, a very, very unique game as far as board presence. Also a fantastic game thematically. I just love the idea of these wee folk building their castles up and then having them get torn down by the babies and the terriers. The dragon is my favorite. It's this big dragon kite that swoops along and only takes off things in the top 2 layers. So you can build something really tall to protect the rest of your pieces from this dragon. So that is Castles by the Sea, a fantastic game. Come check it out. We'll definitely have this one set up to display because it just looks amazing. Yeah, we'd love for you to come down to Games Unlimited. If you're not local, we're happy to ship to you. We do free shipping at $100 or more. So come pick up a copy, take it home, and unbox some fun. It's a perfect time to build some castles by the sea. Don't make that noise next time, please.